Good evening, everyone. Let me start with a question. Have you ever set a goal so big it gave you chills just thinking about it? You saw it, felt it, tasted it, but then days turned into weeks and nothing happened. Why? Because the bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built with one thing: discipline. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's about loving yourself enough to show up for your dreams every single day. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I respect my potential too much to waste it. Why is discipline so important? Because every great achievement starts with a decision. The decision to put in the work even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or downright painful. Discipline isn't a shackle. It's a ladder. It lifts you higher, step by step, until you reach the life you were born to live. Now let's get real for a moment. What does indiscipline cost you? Broken dreams, missed opportunities, regret. Let that sink in. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you're robbing yourself of a future that's waiting for you. I'll let you in on a secret. Motivation is overrated. It's a fleeting emotion. That'll get you started, sure, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation runs dry, and trust me, it will. The question is, will you? I define discipline. And discipline is the cornerstone of every great achievement, the silent force behind every triumph. It is the unwavering commitment to a purpose, a steady resolve to stay the course even when the path becomes steep and the destination seems distant. Discipline is not merely about rules or restrictions. It is about freedom. The freedom to pursue your goals with clarity, the freedom to rise above fleeting distractions, and the freedom to shape your destiny with intention. At its heart, discipline is a choice to prioritize what matters most over what feels easiest in the moment. It is the strength to say no to short-term temptations and yes to long-term aspirations. It fuels the small, consistent actions that compound over time, transforming dreams into reality. Discipline is waking up early to chase your vision when the world's still asleep. It is putting in the work when no one is watching and finding the courage to keep moving forward even when progress feels invisible. This is the answer to the unrequited question, make it worth. True discipline is not born from fear or obligation, but from a deep understanding of its power. It is the art of aligning your daily habits with your higher purpose, of embracing challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Discipline empowers you to take control of your life, to master your emotions, and to channel your energy into what truly matters. It is the bridge between intention and action, between potential and fulfillment. Every great story of success is a testament to the power of discipline. It is what separates those who dream from those who do, those who wish from those who achieve. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent. It is about falling 7 times and standing up 8, about learning from setbacks and using them as fuel for your next step forward. To cultivate discipline is to embrace discomfort, to see it not as a barrier, but as a stepping stone to growth. It is choosing to act with purpose when your mind seeks excuses, to hold on to your vision when doubt whispers otherwise, Discipline is a quiet strength, often unnoticed but always present, shaping the trajectory of your life in profound and lasting ways. In every effort you make, discipline is your greatest ally. It is the voice that reminds you of your potential, the force that keeps you grounded in the face of adversity, and the light that guides you through uncertainty. To live with discipline is to live with purpose, to honor the dreams within you by nurturing them with unwavering dedication. It is not just a skill, it is a way of life, a commitment to being your best self every single day. The why behind discipline. Discipline is not just about adhering to rules or sticking to routines. It is a powerful force that shapes who we are and what we can achieve. It's the bridge between aspirations and accomplishments, the invisible thread that ties dreams to reality. At its core, discipline is the relentless pursuit of progress, the determination to keep moving forward even when the road is steep and the path uncertain. It's what separates fleeting wishes from enduring success. Why do we need discipline? Because life, in its complexity, constantly tests our resolve. It throws distractions in our path and tempts us with the comfort of complacency. Without discipline, even the brightest ambitions falter, and the most promising potential remains untapped. Discipline is the anchor that keeps us grounded in the face of chaos, the compass that guides us when motivation wanes, and gives us the strength to say no to what is easy and yes to what is right, even when it's hard. But discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's waking up every day with a sense of purpose, even when you'd rather stay in bed. It's making the choice to practice, to learn, to grow, even when progress feels slow and setbacks seem overwhelming. It's about trusting the process, knowing that each small step forward brings you closer to transform you. Discipline reminds us that success isn't built in moments of glory, but in the quiet, often unseen efforts that stack up over time. It's easy to romanticize the idea of discipline as a rigid, joyless march toward a goal, but in truth, it's an act of self-love. It's choosing to prioritize your future self over fleeting pleasures. It's understanding that the sacrifices you make today are investments in a tomorrow filled with possibilities. Discipline empowers us to take control of our lives, to rise above circumstances, and to create a narrative of achievement, resilience, and growth. When you cultivate discipline, you unlock a level of confidence that comes from knowing you are capable of following through. It transforms doubt into belief, hesitation into action, and fear into courage. Discipline is not a burden. It's a gift. It's the freedom to live intentionally, to chase your dreams without being derailed by distractions or excuses. The power of discipline lies in its ability to shape our character. It teaches patience in the face of challenges, humility in moments of success, and grit when everything seems to go against us. It's the quiet resolve that says, I will not give up. The steadfast commitment that keeps us going when others might quit. Discipline is a testament to our strength and a reminder that we have the power to shape our destiny, one choice at a time. Let discipline be the fire that fuels your journey, the foundation on which you build a life of purpose and fulfillment. When you embrace discipline, you don't just achieve your goals, you discover your true potential. And that is a victory beyond measure. Discipline as freedom. Discipline is often misunderstood, framed as a series of constraints that bind and limit us. But in truth, discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is its greatest ally. It is the framework within which the wildest dreams are built, the compass that guides us through the chaos of endless possibilities. Without discipline, freedom is like a ship adrift at sea, directionless and vulnerable to every whim of the wind and waves. Discipline is the anchor that gives us stability, the rudder that charts our course, and the sails that harness the winds of opportunity. Imagine the artist who spends hours mastering their craft, the musician who perfects each note, the athlete who trains relentlessly. Their discipline is not a shackle. It is the key to unlocking their true potential. It is through this dedication that they achieve the freedom to express themselves fully, to create without limitation, and to transcend the ordinary. Discipline is the act of committing to a vision and taking the necessary steps, no matter how small or arduous, to bring it to life. It transforms fleeting inspiration into lasting achievement. Discipline is not about denying ourselves pleasure or spontaneity. It is about choosing the joy that comes from progress, the fulfillment that arises from purpose. When we embrace discipline, we are not giving up our freedom, we are giving it structure, ensuring that it is meaningful and enduring. It allows us to break free from the chains of procrastination, self-doubt, and fear. It teaches us that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined, not because we're superhuman, but because we are willing to show up and do the work. True freedom is not the absence of responsibility, but the presence of self-mastery. When we learn to control our impulses, to prioritize what truly matters, and to persevere in the face of challenges, we become unstoppable. Discipline empowers us to set boundaries, to say no to distractions and yes to our dreams. It is the quiet force that helps us rise early when the world is still asleep, to write, to build, to create. It is the steady rhythm that carries us forward when motivation wanes and the path grows steep. So let us not fear discipline or see it as a burden. Let us celebrate it as a gift, as the foundation upon which we can build lives of purpose, passion, and freedom. The cost of indiscipline. The cost of indiscipline is a silent thief that robs us of our potential, our opportunities, and ultimately our success. It is the unseen force that transforms dreams into regrets and ambitions into unfulfilled promises. Indiscipline doesn't announce itself with grand gestures. Instead, it seeps into our lives through small, seemingly insignificant decisions. A missed deadline here, a neglected responsibility there, a compromise on effort just this once, and before we know it, the cumulative effect begins to weigh us down. Consider the opportunities that slip through our fingers because of indiscipline. How many of us have had brilliant ideas only to let them stagnate because we couldn't summon the consistency to act on them? Success, as they say, is not a product of monumental effort on a single day, but of persistent effort over time. Indiscipline disrupts this consistency. It convinces us to procrastinate, to settle for mediocrity, and to postpone action until tomorrow, a tomorrow that rarely comes. Indiscipline costs us more than just opportunities. It eats away at our self-confidence. Every time we fail to follow through on our commitments, we send a message to ourselves that we cannot be trusted to keep our word, even to ourselves. This erosion of trust doesn't just affect our personal lives, it seeps into our relationships, our careers, and our reputation. People begin to question our reliability, and opportunities that could have been ours are offered to someone else, someone who has demonstrated the discipline we lack. The financial cost of indiscipline is another heavy toll. Poor financial habits born out of a lack of discipline lead to mounting debt, missed savings, and a constant struggle to make ends meet. On a broader scale, businesses and organizations suffer when teams fail to meet deadlines or uphold standards due to indiscipline. The ripple effects are vast and unforgiving, and often, by the time we realize the magnitude of the loss, the damage is already done. But perhaps the greatest cost of indiscipline is the impact it has on our personal growth and fulfillment. Discipline is the bridge between where we are and where we want to be. Without it, we find ourselves stuck, spinning our wheels in frustration and wondering why we can't seem to move forward. Indiscipline keeps us tethered to bad habits, preventing us from building the routines and practices that lead to progress. It convinces us that comfort in the moment is more valuable than the rewards of long-term effort, leaving us with a life that feels smaller and less vibrant than it could have been. Yet, even in the face of these costs, there is hope. Indiscipline is not an irreversible condition, but a challenge that can be overcome with awareness, effort, and the willingness to change. The cost of indiscipline is high, but so too is the reward of discipline. The choice is ours to make every single day. What will we choose to invest in? The fleeting ease of indiscipline or the lasting rewards of disciplined action? A break from myth of motivation. Motivation is often celebrated as the magical force that drives people to achieve their goals, chase their dreams, and overcome obstacles. But let's take a moment to question this belief. What if motivation isn't the hero we've made it out to be? What if it's not the spark that ignites success, but rather an unreliable partner, fickle, fleeting, and far from dependable? Think about it. How many times have you felt a surge of motivation, only to watch it fade away before you could act? Maybe it was a New Year's resolution, a burst of inspiration after reading an article, or that electric feeling after a motivational speech. It's exciting, it's invigorating, but how long does it last? Minutes? Hours? A few days if you're lucky? And when it disappears, what are you left with? This is where so many dreams die, not because the dream was unworthy, but because the reliance on motivation was misplaced. The truth is, motivation doesn't always show up when you need it. Sometimes it's nowhere to be found, leaving you stranded in moments when discipline, commitment, and persistence are required. Real success, the kind that stands the test of time, doesn't wait for motivation. It's built on something far sturdier, action. Action that happens whether you feel like it or not. Action that doesn't need permission from fleeting emotions or a burst of inspiration. Consider the most accomplished individuals in history. Do you think they waited for motivation to strike before they started? The athlete trains not because they wake up motivated every single day, but because they've built a habit of showing up. The writer writes not because they're constantly inspired, but because they've made a decision to put pen to paper, regardless of how they feel. The entrepreneur builds not because they're perpetually excited, but because they committed to the grind, even on the toughest days. Okay. What separates those who succeed from those who falter isn't motivation, it's discipline. Discipline is the quiet, steadfast force that keeps you moving forward when motivation abandons you. It's waking up early to work on your goals, even when staying in bed feels like the easier choice. It's choosing to focus on your priorities, even when distractions are screaming for your attention. Discipline doesn't rely on feelings, it relies on commitment. Now, this isn't to say motivation has no value. It can be a powerful catalyst, a spark that ignites your initial drive, but the sparks don't keep a fire burning. To sustain it, you need fuel. That fuel is the consistent, deliberate effort you put in day after day, even when the initial excitement is worn off. It's the systems you build, the habits you cultivate, and the grit you muster in moments of doubt. So break the myth of motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the right feeling to take action. Start where you are with what you have, and let your actions create the momentum you're looking for. The magic doesn't lie in being motivated. It lies in showing up again and again until the work is done. And when you learn to do that, you'll realize that success isn't about waiting for inspiration to strike. It's about becoming the kind of person who can achieve their goals with or without it. Daily habits build extraordinary lives. Daily habits build extraordinary lives because greatness is not born in a single moment of triumph, but is crafted in the quiet consistency of our everyday actions. Each small step, each repeated effort shapes who we are and defines the path we walk. The extraordinary isn't reserved for those with grand opportunities or rare talents. It belongs to those who choose day after day to show up and do the work. Think of the power of a single drop of water. On its own, it seems insignificant, but over time, drops carve through stone, transforming landscapes. In much the same way, our habits, no matter how small they may seem, have the potential to reshape our lives. When we embrace discipline and purpose in the ordinary moments, we set ourselves on a trajectory towards something truly remarkable. Habits are the invisible architecture of our daily existence. They create a foundation upon which our dreams are built. When you dedicate time each day to learn, grow, or improve, you're investing in your future self. A single hour of reading, a consistent commitment to health, or a daily act of kindness may not show immediate results, but over months and years, the compounded effect is life-changing. Extraordinary lives don't emerge from monumental leaps, but from steady progress. It's in the decision to wake up a little earlier, to practice gratitude, or to push through discomfort that the seeds of greatness are sown. These choices, seemingly ordinary, have the power to transform because they align us with our highest aspirations. No one wakes up extraordinary, but everyone has the power to become it. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Failure is not the opposite of progress, but a part of the journey. What matters is how often you rise, adjust, and continue. The small habits that we nurture daily are like sparks that ignite a flame, illuminating the path to the life we dream of living. So embrace the process. Commit to the little things. Let your daily actions reflect the extraordinary person you are becoming. The journey is long, but every step forward is proof that greatness is within your reach. So here we are. You've heard the truth about discipline. It's not a punishment, it's a gift. A gift you give yourself to create a life of purpose, power, and fulfillment. Discipline isn't the enemy of freedom, it's the key to it. It's the difference between living by design or by default. Now, let me ask you, what are you going to do at this moment? Because this is where change begins. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, right here, right now. Take that first step, however small it may seem, and don't stop. Keep going until your actions align with the person you're destined to become. Remember, greatness isn't built in a day. It's built daily. Through discipline, you're not just creating habits, you're reshaping your future. So rise up, take control, because the life you want is waiting for you, and it's closer than you think. Let's leave this room with a fire in our hearts and a commitment in our souls. Let's make discipline our superpower and go after the extraordinary. This is your time. This is your moment. Let's make it count. Let's go.